So before we get into this video, if you guys want to check out my feature film Pasted, you can. It's on Amazon right now. You can also check out the Blu-ray. It's also on various streaming platforms. Also check out our link tree down below for all of our social medias, all of our short films. Check that stuff out. If you want to support an indie filmmaker, it would really mean the world to me. Also, if you want to collaborate, just reach out. I'm always looking to meet other filmmakers. And follow our Rocky Top page. That's very important to me. That's a big feature film that we're trying to get off the ground right now. I'm very passionate about it. Cannot wait to tell you guys more. But there was a reason why I was making this. So I was going to talk about Rocky Top a little bit, but then I wanted to talk about this specific video, and that is the Suburban Drama. Because my film Rocky Top that I'm wanting to make, it's sort of a mixture of a suburban drama, horror film. It's got those elements in it. And when I start thinking about, because I've been asked before what my favorite genre of film is, and I mean, you can basically say, oh, it's horror films, or it's comedy films, it's a good drama, it's a good romance. You can basically simplify what your favorite genre is based off of those genres. But I feel like when somebody says, hey, what's your favorite genre, I think there's a little bit more to chew on, which is usually why I try to, combine genres, or maybe talk about, oh, well, maybe I like a good comedy horror film. I prefer those answers, and I prefer to give those answers, and I think people prefer to get those answers. So for me, whenever I think about what my favorite genre of film is, I have to say the suburban drama. There's something about it where there's not many films out there that are, basically set in suburbia, basically. I mean, there are. I mean, don't get me wrong, but there's a specific type of suburban drama that I really do enjoy. And I'm going to be talking about some films that I personally enjoy within that genre, but I'm also going to talk about why I like the genre to begin with. And I've always wanted to see somebody or a video talk about that, because I do feel like, especially in the United States, I think people really gravitate towards those films because, for one, it's a part of our culture, but two, they get very interesting and they get very unique. Now, before we start talking about the films, we need to start talking about what it is a suburban drama is and what makes it important. Why is something like that important? What makes it unique and what makes it interesting? So a suburban drama, at least the way that I classify it, is basically following people in a specific neighborhood or town as events are transpiring that either change their lives, get in the way of things, or, there's a little bit of sizzle in the sazzle, if that makes sense. That makes no sense. But when I think of films, I think of Little Children, I think of In the Bedroom, which are both by Todd Field. But then you look at films like American Beauty, or you can look at films like Happiness. That's not the first film that I would recommend to people that were looking for a good suburban drama. But then there's also the film I See You, which is a very unique film that I would probably put in that category as well. So I do think that it would have to revolve around maybe a neighborhood or a town, and there's some good stuff going on, some good spicy stuff going on. And why is it important? What makes the suburban drama, at least to me, how do I defend my case talking about the suburban drama, why I like it, and why I think it's so important? Okay, it's Future Dylan editing the video. I realized that I did not bring up Ordinary People. How could I not? It was in my notes, and I have pictures of it right up there, so I don't know what happened. Oops. But check out Ordinary People. I just wanted to give that film a shout out. I didn't want people to watch the video and then be like, oh, you got pictures of ordinary people in there. You people, why did you forget it? So, yeah, sorry about that. Well, when I was growing up, and this is just kind of how it was, I mean, my parents, they cared about where my friends lived. I mean, if you lived in a bad area, my parents didn't want me staying there. I mean, that's just kind of the way that it is. I think a lot of parents say that. It's not discrimination. I mean, it's just kind of like when it's your kid, you understand when you have kids. You're like, I don't know if I want my kids staying there. Don't know if I want them staying there. But here's the funny thing. Doesn't really matter where you live, because the interesting thing about the suburban drama that I've noticed, at least with these films, there's a lot of horrible that goes on in these films. It doesn't matter. Like that's the thing that really gravitates me towards the suburban drama, is it shows that even people that you see quote unquote normal, I mean these normal people, like their house is all nice and clean and spick and span, they got the dim lamps everywhere, their house smells like gingerbread, it's all great, but it shows that there's drama involved in all of those households, just like how it is in civilization. And that's what's so unique to me, is it shows that mankind, we are beast. It doesn't matter where the fuck we are beast. And that's what pulls me to it, and it kind of makes me feel a little bit more normal. Also, another unique thing, when I was growing up, going to my parents' friend's house or whatever, especially people that lived in apartments, you can hear people in apartments. You can hear people yell. You can hear people argue. You can hear people talk loud. And the reason why I realized that is it wasn't just specifically that those types of individuals that lived in apartments, lived in, places that were kind of close together, because I live in an apartment right now. But here's the thing. If all of these people that lived in suburban neighborhoods lived in apartments, you would be able to hear them too. The only difference is with those people, their houses are spaced apart. And that's where the suburban drama, I think, comes in. I think the reason why they're so important is because it shows that no matter how normal you are, you're not really that normal. American Beauty, films like those. I have a couple of recommendations that I can potentially give you guys for films that I personally enjoy, films that I would consider sort of the same caliber in terms of their themes and the way they go about things, and just sort of the overall atmosphere and the overall tone. Now, I do think probably the three best directors that cover this specific genre would probably have to be Todd Solondz, Sam Mendes, and I think the king is Todd Fields. Todd Fields is the best person to do this. I mean, he is fantastic. He just knows exactly what he's doing. So some films that I personally recommend: In the Bedroom and Little Children. Those are from Todd Fields. In the Bedroom is probably, I would probably say Little Children actually is probably my favorite, because Little Children is in my top 10 favorite films of all time. It's just a good family drama. It's got a nice little affair, but it's also got another story with another individual for a very, very specific subject and topic that I don't really, I will get to in a second, because I've noticed it's kind of like a reoccurring theme with all of these films. Yeah. And then you have something like American Beauty, or you have Revolutionary Road, which American Beauty does sort of take the more comedic route, while Revolutionary Road takes the more, it's definitely a period piece, and it's not contemporary like the other ones, or at least contemporary in their times. But Revolutionary Road takes itself more serious. American Beauty doesn't. American Beauty is definitely more stylized, while Revolutionary Road is more grounded. But Revolutionary Road has probably one of the greatest couple arguments I've ever seen put to film, so there's that. Also, Leonardo DiCaprio's amazing in it, Kate Winslet as well. And then you also have Happiness and Life During Wartime, which those films, certain subject matter is brought up. And the subject matter that I'm talking about, that I was talking about with Little Children, with that side story, also in American Beauty, but then also in both of those films, Life During Wartime and Happiness, is the subject matter of kids. And I don't think I have to go further with that. It's older individuals and kids. Very much so a reoccurring theme in these suburban dramas. And that's what I was getting at, where these films, they prove that these people are not normal. Or at least not everybody. Everybody's got their faults. And I think that's what this genre specifically shows to a T. And there are a few other films that you could look at, like I See You, for instance, takes more of the horror route, also takes the found footage route. I See You is one of the most unique films I think I've ever seen. If you have not seen I See You, you should definitely watch that. It's so good. It's really good. But then you can also look at films like Gone Girl from David Fincher, or you can look at Prisoners from Denis Villeneuve. Those films take a more darker approach. So I wouldn't necessarily consider those in the same class as something like In the Bedroom, Little Children, American Beauty, Happiness. But I will say, if you're looking for a film that fits that tone, that similar atmosphere, if you're trying to scratch that itch, probably good films to go for. And there we go. Yeah, just wanted to talk about that a little bit, because I don't know, I haven't heard anybody talk about it, and those are my, if people ask me what my favorite genre film is, it is probably that. I think so. They're just kind of my ultimate comfort movies. I really enjoy them a lot. That's just all there is to it. And yeah, that's it. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a thumbs up and maybe subscribe. Let me know what your favorite suburban drama is down, suburban. Let me know what your favorite suburban drama is down in the comments below. Take it easy, subscribe, hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.